This is one of three instructional videos that I'll share with you to help get you through the income tax unit with the least amount of questions or issues. So what we're looking at on screen right now is a copy of a W-2 wage and tax statement for Sarah Walker. The tax simulation that you'll be doing for this unit all is being done for Sarah. So you'll be completing the 1040EZ federal tax return and the Minnesota M1 tax return. Information that you need for those two documents will come from this W-2 wage statement that we're currently looking at. So if you go through this, you will see over on the left side, there's Social Security number for Sarah. Across the first row, you'll see her wages, tips, and compensation was $10,020. She had $839 withheld in federal income tax. Then if you go down to row 3, you'll see that her employer is Wellington Heating. If you go down a little further, you'll see her personal information, the employee's name, Sarah Walker, and where she lives at 389 France Street South in St. Paul, Minnesota. And finally, excuse me, if you go down to the last row, you will see that she has state income tax withheld of $495. Those numbers you'll need to include in both the federal or in the state income tax return. As I scroll down to the bottom of this, or the middle part of this document, here's some personal information about Sarah. Ignore the birth date and the age because this is a little bit outdated. But Sarah is a student. She works at Wellington Heating and as a part-time job. Sarah lives at home, and so her parents are going to claim her as a dependent, and that will make a difference on the federal income tax statement. You'll have to do a little bit of calculating to figure out how much of a deduction that she gets, and I'll walk you through that when we get to that form. Finally, down on the bottom is the 1099, and this is a statement that you'd receive from a bank if you were paid any kind of interest. And Sarah has an account at Federal Savings and Loan, and in the calendar year that we're doing the taxes, she received $800 in interest income. That number by today's standards would be outrageous because we know that banks aren't paying any kind of an interest today. But apparently Sarah would have had some money in this bank, and we're just going to assume that that's what she earned. So the bank sends her a 1099, which indicates that that amount of interest is taxable and does need to be claimed on her income tax. So from this form, we will be using the data to complete the federal and the state return. You'll find the information that we're looking at right here in the assignment sheet, and there's a little note right next to it. It says the following contains information you will need for this assignment. It's the first item that's listed. It's a W-2 1099 form, and it says on the instruction sheet, Sarah Walker's information needed to fill out the federal and state tax forms. Okay, so I hope that helps explain a little bit about what this document is. In video number 2, I will be walking you through completing the federal 1040EZ, and I'd like you to have this kind of printed out and right by your side as we go through and do that together.